This is Keith from Love Living Local 315. I'm here with Thomas R. Proctor, varsity head coach, Mr. Carvon Brazier.
Hey, Keith, nice to see you, my brother. All right.
Coach is actually 30 years in the district as a phys ed teacher.
Sir. Yes, sir.
So 30 years in the district as a phys ed teacher.
Yes.
Now you're the head varsity basketball coach.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that. One, becoming the coach, and two, being in the district this long.
It's a blessing, blessing to have this opportunity here. I love the kids. I love sport.
Absolutely.
That's my thing. I coached many sports in the previous 30 years here. Yeah, I coached in different districts.
Absolutely.
Had some great success in, the area of basketball. This is what I love. I've always been a person that, loves sports, and I play golf, now, and the perfect transition.
For sure. Mm-hmm. After all these years of coaching, though, let's say when you first started coaching till now, what do you think has changed the most with the student athlete?
Right. That just there. First of all, as well as I know, the AAU game has impacted the high school game a lot and the college game.
Absolutely.
So now the kids are almost more like professional athletes than they are high school athletes. You know what I mean? They got NIL deals.
Yeah, they're getting paid
all over the place. It's unreal, where it's gone to. I'm, happy for the kids for the opportunity, but, for me, high school basketball is still a sacred element of your upbringing, your uprooting, you know what I mean? So I think, it just it makes it a little bit difficult to coach at this level, but,
sure.
It's definitely, still rewarding when you can reach those kids that, that need it most.
Absolutely. When I think about nowadays and these kids, from when I grew up, I didn't have social media.
Right.
I didn't have phones in my hands.
Right.
I didn't have those distractions to kind of worry about when I was playing high school basketball.
Right.
How do you kind of guide those kids now in this social media era as a head coach leading a program? How do you kind of keep these kids away from those distractions?
Right. Well, that's the $1 million question.
That's the $1 million question.
The answer.
Uphill battle, right?
I got the $5 answer, but the long and short of it is, we try to incorporate their stuff as well. Meaning, you can't. You got to be open-minded with a lot of stuff. You can't be closed-minded. You got to see where things can fit. Meaning, old school coaching, which I believe, we always had a method. We had a pattern.
Exactly.
And we followed it to the niche. Now, I think you have to be a little bit more adaptable because the kids have to, feel their worth in other ways. You know what I mean? So I think it's definitely a tough element to deal with, the social media. Just a quick story, but, I kind of dealt with it the end of last season, where we had, media guys coming to the game, and, that kind of influenced the way that the kids played.
Absolutely.
So that was a hard pill for me to swallow, because I didn't realize that was going on.
Yeah, no, it's huge.
Yeah.
I think it's important now for coaches to kind of educate the student athlete on social media and how to use it and the power of it.
Yes, sir.
And if you use it the right way, it could be beneficial.
100%.
But obviously, if you let it deter you and distract you, it could be a detriment to the development. Talk a little bit about, obviously, you've been in the district this long, taking over this job. How hard is it to kind of implement your approach and principles following the tenure of Coach Stamboli and Coach Joseph? Right.
For me, that was a difficult task, because...
They were almost, 20 plus years?
Right. When I coached back in the days, freshman basketball, modified basketball, I always had a system where kids bought in immediately.
Absolutely.
They understood what the rules were. They understood what the groundwork took, and they hit the ground running with it. With this group, it was a little bit harder because they had their own influences. They had their own, way of doing things and stuff like that. So definitely had to work within their right and also with me to make sure that we join this thing up to get the most out of them. It's not an easy, it's not an easy task to handle. But, the good thing is what I say is it gave me a baseline of what I would, look for in the future.
Absolutely.
Meaning, this is my real start this year. because now I have a baseline, and I explain that to the kids, is that I have this baseline, and now this is where the line is drawn.
Absolutely.
And this is where we're going to stay. We're not going underneath the line. We're going to try to go and exceed above the line.
For sure. Talk a little bit about the what you're trying to implement. Obviously, this is the first real off season for you and your program. What are some things that you were doing with your players to kind of get them ready?
Yes. So soon as, the season ended last year, we've been in the gym, we've been in the weight room, especially because that was an area of concern for our program. A lot of our kids, may not have that internal strength that we're looking for so that they can last on the court, so that they can, push through some things that go on out there. We're playing AAA basketball.
Yeah, it's big.
You're playing against the biggest and the best kids, all over the state. So we've just finished our 8-week program here at Proctor, where we're doing our lift and basketball conditioning.
That's smart.
Now and now we're jumping right into the summer phase, where we're going to have 2 practices, for summer ball, and it's open to everyone at the school, which is a nice thing. It's actually open to everybody.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So anyone that is interested in playing basketball, that has a passion and thinks that they may have what it takes to be a varsity athlete, because or JV athlete, that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
We have a lot of athletes, but do we have varsity and JV athletes? And that's what I talk to the kids about the schoolwork aspect.
Absolutely.
That has to be taken care of first before we even think about coming to a gym or a practice or a workout.
So one thing I enjoyed, and I seen it last year, you're starting with the biddy ball, the skill development stuff. You're trying to teach every level the same thing, same principle.
Yes.
So then when they get to you at the varsity level, they know the system.
Yes, sir.
Is that something you just always wanted to implement?
Oh, 100%. I think that is the only way in this large community. I mean, we have a lot of basketball. We have a lot of partners. We have a lot of people, but we got to stay together.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So that's the one thing. If you notice, I think I saw you at the meeting, for Dick Miller this year. That's a big thing for me, is that the youth basketball sports. I mean, without that, I don't think we're going to get where we need to go.
Starts at the bottom.
You know what I mean? So, this was once a preeminent program in the state. That's where we want to be. We want to be competing against the best and with the best. And next year, our schedule is going to reflect that. We have a lot of high, we call it BTM. That's the model that they have. We had a lot of high BTM teams that we're going to go to their site, and they're going to come here and play us. So it's going to be a very high level experience, we'll say, next year.
Absolutely, absolutely. When I think about Proctor basketball, I think about some great players that have come through this school and this system. Talk a little bit about who's coming up. You got some guys coming up.
Yes.
And maybe in the JV level or the freshman level that are going to come up to your program pretty soon. Or you got anybody that stands out?
Listen, we're very excited. We have, Proctor history.
Absolutely. There's a lot.
We've never had that size, so to speak. We didn't have those 6'7", 6'8" guys. This year I had 2 of them, which were first-time players. So that was, and they were seniors. So that was a little bit tough. To get them acclimated to the game of basketball, with a basketball IQ. But we do have a lot of young student athletes, and I'd say student athletes first, because they do great in the classroom and they play hard on the court, and I love that. That's my hallmark, is that defensive end. These kids want to play defense. They're going to be in your face the whole time. They may be undersized. They are fearless.
Play hard.
And I'm proud of them. I'm excited.
Yes. I noticed that, you got that brand.
Yes.
You coach them hard. Those kids play hard.
Yes.
The effort's there.
Yes.
You got you're coaching dogs. I mean, for lack of better terms, these kids are dogs in a good way.
Yes, sir.
And I noticed that, you got some really great athletes and they're honing their skills. And I see the program you're trying to build here and what you're trying to implement. And I'm rooting for you.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I think you got the leadership. I think you got the voice. And I think you got the knowledge to really take this program to another level.
Yes, thank you.
Another level.
That's what we want to implement.
Absolutely.
That's the plan.
Absolutely. If I could ask one more question.
Yes.
Kind of in reference to being a teacher and now being a coach. I guess that probably makes it a little easier because you do see these kids every day throughout the day. Talk a little bit about being a teacher and now being the head coach, that duality, and kind of being to your benefit.
Right. Well, 100% is a benefit. There's more accountability.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm here with these kids every day.
You see them throughout the day.
So I'll see them, you know, they may be in a situation that they're not supposed to be in. And, you know, I'm the type that I think, you know, I've learned to mature as well.
Absolutely.
I won't embarrass them out there.
No.
You know, I keep a mental note. And when I see them the next time, you know, I have like a little Q&A session for them. Yeah. I'll question them about, you know, what was going on out there? What were you doing? And, you know, what were you thinking? And just to make them like, you know, see a different side of things. You
Coaching
know,
counsel.
You know, because there's discipline. There's always, there's a discipline, there's consequences for, you know, your decision making. So I want them to understand that those decisions that they're making could be detrimental to them in one way or one or more fashion. And, you know, that's the work of the whole thing. But being here at the school, I don't know how you would do it any other way.
No, 100%.
You know,
100%.
because, you know, not only that, there's a lot of, like, not just, you know, there's communication that's going on, you know, during the day.
Absolutely.
You know, with the kids, you know, communicating with the teachers, you know, with the assistant principals and all the staff members. I will say this, last year, one thing I'm extremely proud of is, you know, and I'm giving this shout out, you know, because I'm an educator.
Absolutely.
Last year was the first time in school history that we had every student pass on their own, and we had a 82.6 GPA, which may not sound like much.
No, that's good.
But you know, if you've been around the program long enough, you understand that, you know, there was some educational gaps that weren't being filled.
Absolutely.
So we're trying to fill those gaps. I tell the kids all the time, basketball is what brought us here, but that's probably going to be the least thing that you learn about. You're going to learn about life.
Life skills.
With Coach Brazier, because this is where I come from. I come from New York City. I come from Harlem. It wasn't easy. I had to avoid a lot of situations to be here with you right now.
For sure.
And I want my kids to understand that and know that they don't have to follow every single, you know, thing or item. Sometimes you got to be able to step out and make your own decisions and live with your decision making.
For sure.
Right.
5 years from now, how do people see Thomas R. Proctor basketball?
Well, Father willing.
What's the brand?
You know,
the identity.
Well, you know, it's going to be, you know, we go hard. You know what I mean? We're going to put it out there, but hopefully they're going to see team-oriented type of situation where we're together, where we bind in
that
like
camaraderie.
a family.
Absolutely.
We call it a family. You know,
like
that's what I tell the kids. We're a family. This is your brother. Iron sharpens iron. You got to make him better. You're going to push him. You know, when you see him out in the hallway, you got to look out for him. You know, we want to look out for each other.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So we really want to bring that family energy. We want to bring that love and respect for each other, because I think that's, you know, something that they're lacking. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
There's so much competition. Competition is great, but we want the competition to be, you know, fair. We want the competition to be sporting. You know, we want to keep everything on the court.
No,
you know what I mean? Don't take that thing back to the neighborhoods, and now we get in situations that, you know, don't have any merit over what we're trying to accomplish.
I got you. Coach, I just want to, I appreciate everything you're doing. Congratulations on this job.
Thank you.
I mean, I think it's well-deserved. I think it's way overdue. You know, we needed a voice like you to kind of take the reins from here.
Yes.
And we're rooting for you, man.
Thank you, brother.
And I wish you the best. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
I think you got a great thing going here.
Yep.
Go Raiders.
It's fun. Yeah, it's exciting.
Raiders, bro. Absolutely.
Let's go Raiders.